During the hot one fight between the LaFleur family, their allies, and Cajun Bean and his evil, um, Andrew LaFleur II, who in the third universe was the main one who destroyed Cajun Bean when he became the god of the universe and was going around different dimensions and time traveling to gain all the powers of the different warriors and stuff like that so he became more powerful to give the great power some juice or whatever. Became rivals with this Cajun Bean as well. And so Junior led the Utopians against the foreign invaders who took all the skies, but they had the land advantage and tried their hardest. During this time, the third used his emblem to defeat Andrew LeBurn, spectacularly crushing him beneath the emblem's might and weight. And seeing that their top officer, um, LeBurn, was destroyed, um, Gideon being sent his full armada there to crush the planet. Seeing that the planet has some worthy officers, and despite Gideon Bean's best efforts, the Utopians hold on. Even the peasant people took up sticks, clubs, guns, or makeshift weapons to fight to defend their planet. And Gideon Bean himself came down, where Andrews Jr. and Gideon Bean fought. Gideon Bean using his sword, laser sword, and the floor with his chain rod, and the two fought, and in the engagement Bean was captured because he was defeated, and his armada was greatly damaged in one planet. Seeing this embarrassment, Tesha was instructed to retreat to maintain the universe because when Gideon Bean was conquering, he made plenty of enemies in the universe. Seeing that one planet greatly diminished his reputation as the Gideon Bean forces retreated back to Sumatra Galaxy, which was their home base, it had been called problematic. So Tesha retreated to regain strength within the universe to revenge his lord and to save him from prison. While Gideon Bean was in prison, um, the rebuilding of the world began. During this rebuilding, they found that Gideon Bean was an alien race that aged slowly. During this time, Andrew Law Jr. and his wife would die soon after. The original Law was still alive because he was destined to live until 110 years old. The third still was alive, but he had a child with a wife named Sarah, and Andrew the fourth was born, and his sister, what's his sister name? Andrea, had a son with the Guardian, and his name was Imani. Yeah. And during this time, Celine, who are thought to have died, woke up in the ship of an alien ship, Schumacher, who saved her during the fire and preserved her body, thus she did not age. She was aging slowly like her husband. She was slower than her husband. And so she had the strength and she had her a chain spinner as a weapon. I was told everything that happened. I wanted to avenge her homeland. And so she led the rebellion in Sumatra to overthrow the government of KGB. Right? And Tesha saw that this was another flaw in the universe. And so, they had to fight. And when they fought, they were ultimately defeated despite their technology, as many of the people didn't like KGB and wanted to have a chance to reform. And then they saw Zunine as the queen of the universe and queen of Androsica because that's where she was from. and she formed a new government, and the Floors secretly ruled the entire universe without the main family knowing, because she didn't want to tell her husband that she was alive, that her death caused the Floors to be where they are now. So she remained in the universe to help a new alien friend, Tom, the Sumatran, govern accordingly in the ways of equality for all and equity for all and utopia. And so, after such time, there was still peace within the entire universe. This bordered a certain being, as the chaos was fleeing, decided to form into a single being, right? Chaos formed into a single being, and Chaos was like, no, this is wrong. I have no choice but to bring back the god of destruction of the original universe. Or God does it. But how? Ah, yes, I know. My Cajun being, its body will be greatly used for my God's purposes. I could also revert the eye of a telecon and found a new being. Ah, yes, the scene's weapon. The scene's weapon, that lightning rod, will be perfect. But I will need to resurrect some more fools, the enemies of these so-called peace-loving people. So Chaos went and rose up an army of the dead, which at this time the Lord of Fort was going to the jailhouse where Cajun Bean was to inspect it, because he's going to be king soon. But he saw that all these dark shadow creatures were around and thought these were Cajun Bean's troops, so they fought, and then they called the entire family and all the different stuff. But the third managed to kill Cajun Bean before he could escape. However, Chaos only needed his body, so he took his body and vowed that he was going to get the eye of the telecon to finish the job. So they're talking about the eye of the telecon. What the hell is that? So Bison, who was the younger brother, way younger brother Bison, who at this time had died, told him the truth, told the Floors the truth about the eye of the telecon and all that. The third was shocked that they didn't tell him anything. And waited until the whole fourth generation of the Floors had to come around to say something. And the families and descendants all was gathering to prepare for war, to go back to this dimension where there's so-called Magontes and this powerful demon from another time in the different universe was supposed to come back, and this chaos was going to bring back to destroy this peace-loving universe and all that. So they had no choice but to stop it, right? And it was doing their preparation that an evil spirit of Shermanica had returned. Realizing his godlike abilities once more, he returned to destroy Anjosica, the capital of the Laflors. The third had to defeat this powerful demon and exorcise it in preparation for the showdown with chaos itself. It was during this time that Sherman had a big black ball of destruction, was going to destroy Anjosica, along with his grandfather, Andrew LaFleur, that was still in the castle. But however, the spirit of his grandfather, King LaFleur, not all LaFleurs that had died, and family members appeared, and he was stunned to see a giant-like figure of Akin LaFleur. So he said, "What? Akin LaFleur?" Who was his servant of Sherman before Sherman betrayed the Empire. And he was stunned by this, and the floors blasted the blast and that destroyed the ball, and the floor of the firm came with the emblem and started walking him up and down. And then Sherman was destroyed by the great ultimate blast of the emblem, and the Americans were destroyed for good, and the floors secured the victory. It was during this time a great elder named Patterson had appeared to help the LaFleurs. And before coming to Utopia, he told Celine that it's time for her to go. And then he got back the youth of Andrew LaFleur just some time after he died at 110. But before LaFleur was resurrected and Patterson appeared, Celine came to his bedside secretly and kissed her beloved and told him goodbye, thinking that she would now never see him again. But however, the time for all the LaFleurs from all different existence, from the very beginning up to now, was soon about to come as the Allied forces tried to destroy chaos itself. In the flawless distraction, the remaining Electricons went up there to destroy what they thought was the Telecon, but it was actually chaos. Pretending to be the eye, as the Electricons were greatly exhausted, they tried to destroy this pretended eye Telecon, the real eye Telecon, and Fuse became the giant center eye for Magontesan, as he had a swollen face. Like, he didn't have really a face, he just had like a head thing there, and then the long lightning rod was corrupted into dark lightning. And within Cajun Being's mighty, massive tall body, Magontesan and Cajun Being became real, and the demon had returned, and his first operation was to wipe out the Electricons for good. The Electricons were destroyed, and then he saved a dimension to destroy Utopia. Then this was when Patterson came to LaFleur and said the time is now for them to unite and destroy this evil, and then brought back Celine, and everyone was shocked that Celine was, alive, and then brought back Nia, LaFleur Jr., LaFleur, everyone embraced each other and all that. And then the final battle, which was about to begin in the Valley of Immortals, became good and evil. LaFleur as Magontesan, and for the very survival of the entire universe, as Magontesan and the chaos itself wanted to destroy the universe because it's so peaceful, and they could not have that. It's at the same time JSJ, Meta, and Tasha, and all the enemies on the floor were resurrected. Seeing that all the LaFleurs were resurrected, all the enemies will be resurrected, and found Sean between good and evil. This showdown appeared as LaFleur used his blue one sword, his silent tripod, spear, spinner, Celine, Nia with her mace weapon, the third with his emblem, the fourth with his sword, Devlin with his chain and sickle, and everyone else in the LaFleur family who were, intermediate from the Guardians and Electricon, and various other people beat back the undead evils of the past. And then they had to face the chaos itself before they had to get through to Magontes, and as the chaos was gone and gave where his lord was, and then after the chaos was slain, Andrew LaFleur declared that he destroyed him and his family, destroyed the very chaos itself, now to destroy the Dark Emperor, evil demon god Magontesan, and the LaFleur family all struggled, and went with the LaFleur blood, until Celine got up and rallied the troops, and she never died. And together they used all the energies, and they struck him with all their weapons simultaneously. Magontesan was destroyed, and the world was at peace. Magontesan destroyed, chaos destroyed, and Utopia, and de facto the universe was dead. Now this goes back to the story of the from Utopia to Bodaria. I said, the floors eventually, or the original floors out there died out, and then Anjolsko became the Golden City. The floors were treated there, and they let go of the universe because they didn't want to hold power for too long. They wanted people to be free, seeing that they learned what it is to be utopian and equality and equity for all. They decided the universe to go on freely in righteousness without them ruling. And so that's how it gets to the story that he found. And after that story came down where Kersner was about to kill Coop.